And welcome to another video from Techcanvass. This video is going to give you an overview of task dependencies. So let's just first understand what is a task dependency. So a task dependency are the interrelation that exists between the project activities. So these task dependencies are going to determine the order in which the project task must be executed. For example, some task needs to be executed in sequence. For example, there's a task A and task B, and task B has to be completed or has to be initiated right after the task A is completed. So this kind of relation between different tasks is known as task dependencies. Now, let's look into what are the various types of task dependencies. So to start with, the first one is finish to start. This is the most common type of dependency wherein a predecessor task is completed first and then only a successor task can start. So that means a successor task is going to be dependent on the predecessor task. Similarly, the second type of dependency is finish to finish. In this kind of dependency, what happens is a predecessor task will be completed while a successor task will also complete. That means a successor task will only complete if your predecessor task is completed. So that means both of them are going to complete together. Coming to start, this is you can only start a successor task when your predecessor task is already started. That means that a task can only be started once the other task is started. Then the fourth one is start to finish. In this kind of dependencies, what happens? The predecessor task is started and your successor task is also running in parallel. So in this case, the predecessor task is to start before the finish of the other task. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that a successor task can only complete once your predecessor task is started. So that is start to finish. So these are the four kind of dependencies that you will come across in Microsoft Project. Now, when you look into Microsoft Project as a tool, you know how to work on that tool, but you do not know how you're going to create those dependencies on that tool. So I'll just probably give you an overview as to how you're going to create those dependencies on that tool. So let's say on your screen, the first task is select the party venue, and its duration is currently defaulted to 1 day. And the second task is guest list. Now I'll quickly assign this task to John. Now logically, John can take the second task only after the first task is finished. And this is exactly what I mean by task dependency. So first, let me show you how tasks are linked in a project. So now if you go here, select the task that you want a dependency on. For example, we want these two tasks to be dependent on each other. Then in the schedule section here, look for the link icon, which is going to be this one. If you can see, it is also showing you what exactly this icon is all about. So it says link the selected task, and I'm going to click on this. So now let us analyze what all changes has happened once you clicked on the link of that particular task bar. First, if you notice the Gantt chart view, a usual link has been created in between these two tasks. Second, the start date of the second task, which is here, is being moved. So this makes perfect logical sense now that the first task is completed and then only you can move to the second task or the successor task. And this is how you're going to show up the dependency. If you want to learn brief about how you're going to show the different set of dependencies, you can check our Microsoft project course. There we have a particular chapter wherein we are going to tell you how exactly you can look into these dependencies and how you can mark them on Microsoft project. Thank you very much. And I hope this video helps you understand the dependencies on a project.